Okay, welcome to Cloud Training for Enthusiasts. My name is Patrick Osatohane-Aigbogun, and we are here to learn about not just cloud, everything about cloud and how to help developers function well, how to help operation function well, how to help the complete infrastructure work well. We are here for a DevOps session, and we have been doing this for this make it a month since we've been doing it. That makes it 2 weeks. 2 days a week, that's eight days, 2 days a week. And if we are saying a month, that means four weeks, that's 8 sessions. And today is going to be awesome because we are already in infrastructure. We are talking, before this recording, we're already talking about what we've learned in our lessons, and interestingly, we have so many experiences shared about how and then about creating access lists, and ensuring that you don't just create a right because somebody asks for it. However, giving the appropriate right to the appropriate user so that we can manage our resources effectively. And that was what we did last week, Sunday. Yesterday, that was what we did yesterday. But today, we're just going to continue from where we stopped. If you missed the class, the last video before this is already on our YouTube channel. You can just go and view it. It's just like a 1 hour video. Fine, the video looks long, but if you actually start viewing it, you see that it's actually short because it's a playground where everybody share their screen and share what they do. So it's like a playground kind of nature of our training. So before we continue, let's just have a little literature so that we will not just be there. Like I mentioned, this is where my name is Dr. Patrick again. And we are in DevOps. We are learning about DevOps. In our beginning of our class, we talked about the whole arms of DevOps, the continuous integration, continuous deployment, operation, planning, and building. So we are picking it one after the other. So we are looking at the tools needed, the tools you need to have in order to function as a DevOps engineer. So we're talking about for development, continuous deployment, and continuous planning and continuous integration. Because for this particular aspect of DevOps, we ventured into bash scripting, which is our tool. Then we talked about Git and GitHub, and we talked about VSC code, which is used for VSC, which is used for code editor. Then we also talked about yesterday that the quality assurance will come later, but we are going into infrastructure. For the tool we need for infrastructure, we need to have one infrastructure in mind. So for that view, we looked at AWS as our infrastructure. Not that AWS is all infrastructure people use, but AWS is a public cloud that have all the server, all the VM, all the network and storage for us to use. We can only just connect to it remotely. That's why it's called cloud. So that's where we are. We started yesterday. And that yesterday, we looked at it. We look at AWS, not generally like how AWS is as if we're preparing for certification. However, we looked at it as if we are working with it as our tool. So what does it entail? Why should we use AWS? What does it provide? So in that view, we talked about that AWS offer 4 basic functions. Out of that 4, they are so broad and so elaborate. And out of that 4, the first one is IT infrastructure, meaning that AWS have data center that is so massive that all the resources you need to make sure that your application is running. So before you have an application running, you have to get a server, get your network, and make sure that your server is up, because as long as your server is up, your application will be up. So for you to keep the server up, there are so many things, so many complexity. And this complexity, AWS have decided to take those upon themselves and say, okay, don't worry, we'll take over the complexity. We have server for you, just connect to our website. And from our website, use any services you like. That is why it's called Amazon Web Services. Amazon is the owner of the company. The web is the access, the interface we are using to connect our resources, while the services are the things that are provided. What are the basic services AWS provides? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So there are so many nomenclature, which we are going to be talking about today. And why should we use AWS? Why we don't use our local data center? Those details, you can find it in our module that we did last year, and it's still very, very, very useful. How the different branches, the nomenclature of AWS. So today, those things that were not mentioned there, they are the things we are going to be attending to, so that by the time you do that module and come here and add it, or even with this alone, if you have a very basic understanding of AWS, you should be able to use AWS resources. So we went to practical yesterday, and we talked about another aspect, which is the API. They have so many software applications that have already been designed that is running. So if you have an application, you want your application to do many functions. For example, there's a company that reached out to me. They are into AI. You know, some company may have tractors. They want you to track their tractors. So you can connect it to their deep application, deep AI applications with that. Or enter control room. I don't understand. Okay. With that, you'll be able to just use application that is already running. You just add it to your application. Your application will now have broad features. For example, how many of us use you use Netflix? You watch Netflix. Even Jumia. Most of us go to Jumia, Nigeria, to shop, e-commerce site. If you notice that whenever you shop, you click on one goods, all of a sudden you see like 4 or 5 good goods will be suggested to you. How many of us have experienced that? Huh?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
You see that whenever you click one good, maybe you just look at one shoe, you just click one shoe. Before you know it, 5 shoes that will be suggesting to you that somebody that clicked this shoe actually clicked something like this. So sometimes they will not compare price for you. That particular application that does that is an AI application. And AWS also have that application. So if you have e-commerce site, you don't know how to design such application that will suggest to customer, you can just go to AWS and use their API and plug it to your website. The website will not have that functions. The same thing Netflix does. If you watch one movie, you watch another movie, before you know it, the system will simulate the movies that have that same nomenclature, that same biography. They will start suggesting it to you. Because they want you to keep watching, because the more you keep watching, the more they keep making their money, the more they get you entertained, you understand? And the more you like it. So that AI structure is in AWS. So those are the things, these are called APIs. The application is already running, you just carry your application and add it and plug it, just like a fuse. Understand? They provide that. They also provide some security features for your system, external security features, and they also enable you to automate systems. Those are the basic 4 features that, but they are broad, but I just grouped them into these 4. Yeah, yesterday, this is what we talked about yesterday, IAM role, that when you create an account in AWS using your website, AWS also give you the right to manage who will use your resources and how your resources is being managed. So we went into creating a user yesterday. I will make that user a root user. And I told you that it's not good to use a root user. So we went to create another user called admin. That admin have that right root user. Who is a root user? A root user is the first person, the first account, the first email that subscribed with AWS. That's the first point of call. That's your first point of call. After that account, the account is very, very useful and sensitive. Anybody that have access to that account is like a key. Fine, AWS, if you are able to show to AWS that you are actually the owner, you can retrieve it, but it's stressful. So that's why you are according to AWS, you have to protect all your data. So instead of you taking that risk of using it to log in every time of exposing it, you create another user. And that user you create using the IAM is called IAM user. Again, so we created an admin role yesterday, and we now created a group. I will call the group DevOps group. And that was where we stopped yesterday. Then I mentioned first, at least the least principle, least privilege. So today we're going to dive into IaaS. This is where your interviewer will focus on. This is where everybody that wants to be a cloud engineer, they must know this thing. This is the reason why I say you should be using a Linux system. This is why. You understand me? This is the reason why we went to learn about Git and GitHub. This is the reason why we learned about VS Code. This is the foundation. This is the main thing about using a public cloud, and it cut across all public cloud. You understand? So if you understand what we want to start today successfully, I will assure you that you're already a cloud engineer, so you can start building on it. You understand me? So yesterday we talked about access IA. So today I'm going to go into about networking. So can somebody just tell me what is the least privileged principle? What it means? And as we do that, if you've not created an account, start creating it right now. I'll send you the link. Just go ahead and start creating it right now. It's called Amazon AWS.amazon.com. Just go to that site immediately and start creating right now. Pull your credit card because they are going to collect $1. They will return it back to you. But you just want to know that you are actually a human being that is creating an account. So it's not like they are going to collect your money. And in case you spend more than your resources and you stand, they will start collecting that money. But before they collect it, they will tell you, they will warn you that your account, you are using more than you expected. Are you sure you want to pay for this before you pay? Understand? Then you can also set up billing so that they don't even need to inform you. Your system will inform you and say you are using more than your budget. So please go ahead right now. Everybody that does not have AWS account, open your laptop and go to aws.amazon.com. Please, I say we go ahead. Everybody, Dollar, do you have AWS account? Dollar, do you have AWS account? Hello, can anybody hear me? Am I talking to myself? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you want to use mine to show the class?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I was my I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Do you have AWS account? So if you don't have AWS account, just signify on the group, right? Because I told you this is not we are coming here to spy. At the end of this class, everybody here should and must know how to use it. So if you don't, just go to the group and say, I have not. So what I was saying, I will help you. But though we're not going to affect the class, because the class have to keep going. But without you having an AWS account, it will be difficult for you to follow along. This is not a theory, this is not an entertainment. This is a workshop. So please, if you've not, say hi, don't be ashamed, just say it. Everybody here started as a beginner before we became an intermediate and pro. Please say hi if you have not. Let me see the hi. How many hi? No hi yet. I want to assume everybody have a AWS account, and that is wrong. Okay. Okay. Who again? I don't have an active one. Okay, you have to create it right away. Everybody, hi, Peter. Peter, you created one yesterday now. I say if you don't have. I don't say if you have. If you don't have.
Oh, okay. It's a mistake. Thank you.
I know you have. If you don't have, say I don't have. If you don't have, say I don't have. Okay. See, I know now. I know those that doesn't have. I know. I mean, we have now. I don't have an account, but on it now. Okay. Those of us that don't have right now, go to your go to. It's free. It's free of charge. They're not going to collect your money. It's free. That's why I love AWS. It's for 1 year, free for 1 year. You understand? It's free for 1 year. If you are able to manage resources very well, you're not even supposed to pay a dime for the training. But unless if you start using it for work, which you are supposed to, then you know how much you're going to be paying. So we have only 4 people that said out of 7. It's fair. Okay. If you don't have an active account, create another one now. I can't complete the set until I resolve my card issue during the week. Okay. If you don't have that account, use another card now. It's not compulsory you use this particular card. You can use your credit card. It works. Okay. Last, those ones are creating the account because I'm going to call you to share your screen. Okay, Edward. Not Edward, Peter.
Yes, Edward is here, but I've told you my challenge.
I understand. Peter, please share your screen. Okay, before you share your screen, let me say this. What is an IaaS? IaaS is likened to you buying a laptop. You understand? And when you buy a laptop, you understand, the first thing you check is the processor speed, Abi. You look if your system is fast, Abi. The first thing who can, okay, I think I will allow one person to just give me 3 features of his laptop. Dolakbo.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you share your resources of your laptop, of your system that you're using? What is the specification?
Come on, I don't know how to do that in Linux. Just give me one comment, please.
It's simple. Just go to your lab desktop and just go to your simple. I want you to send me the specification of your laptop.
Okay, I'm coming. Oh man. Sorry, please.
How do you check it on Linux?
In 5 minutes, please. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. Before she comes back, Egosa, please,
Yeah.
can you tell me your laptop specification, the things that your laptop has?
My laptop has a RAM, has a storage, has a CPU.
How many? What's the space of your RAM?
16 gigabytes.
16 gig RAM. Please take note of what I'm asking. Take note of this question. You have 16 gig RAM. Okay, what hard drive? What kind of hard drive do you have?
Solid state drive, SSS.
SSD. Okay, SSD. What's the space?
Space.
What's the capacity?
Over 500,000.
500 gig.
Space.
Okay, 500 gig.
Yeah.
Space.
Yes.
Okay, what's the processor speed?
Processor speed, I think 24 something.
Okay, 2.4 gigahertz processor speed. Okay. Do you have a graphics card?
Yes, graphics card is here.
What is the space? What's the capacity of a graphics card?
I have not checked that.
But you have network.
I have network.
You have internet. You have internet network.
Yes.
You have graphics card network. Okay.
Memory.
You
have
have
extra memory.
Extra memory. Do you have CD-ROM?
No, I don't have CD-ROM. I use flash drive.
Do you have flash drive? You have flash drive. Okay. Do you have a Google Cloud? Do you have a Google Drive?
I have a Google Drive. Yes.
How many space do you have?
It's not much. They give you the least privileged space. I can quickly just check that for you. Okay. Google Drive space is on there. Loading. Drive is almost full. Storage, yeah. Storage is nothing is showing. I don't know. Okay. Okay, there's no much stuff on mine. It's showing 0 bytes. I don't know what's the size, but it just shows 0 bytes.
You're supposed to be having like 5 gig.
Yeah, just saying 0 bytes use, not use.
Okay. The reason why I answer those questions is because those are the things that makes up your laptop. Without those things in your laptop will not function. Do you know that? Without those things in your laptop will not function. Without those things in your laptop working, your laptop will not function. So for your laptop to work, you must have a RAM. Abi, the work of a RAM, what's the function of a RAM? The function of a RAM is to make sure that your system, when you put on your system, let me give you a little idea, because this is going to help us. What I'm going to share now is going to help us. Please a minute, let me share my slide again. What I'm sharing now is going to help us. When you have a RAM, you understand me? And that RAM that you have, anytime you on your laptop like this, immediately you on your laptop, what happens is that your laptop will automatically, all your files and your hard drive, all your files and your hard drive. That's why when your hard drive crash or you lose your file, Hello?
Yep. Yes.
All our files are in our hard drive, HDD. Whether you call it hard drive or whether you call it a solid state or HDD or SDD, but they are in your hard drive, your main hard drive. When your hard drive has your files. Immediately you on your laptop like this, all your files will move straight to your RAM. First of all, it will go straight to your BIOS, Siemens battery, that small one, which will load your BIOS. When you load your BIOS will automatically, have you noticed that whenever you load your laptop, you see some code, Abby? Some code will tell you press F12, press F9. Have you noticed that? Huh?
Yes.
Hello, please. I need, whenever you're on your laptop, okay, tell me when you're on your laptop, what happens? Just give me the step by step. What happens when you're on your laptop? Can somebody just tell me, please? Because it's very important to this. If you don't understand this now, it's going to affect even where it's going to server. When you're on your laptop, what happens? What's the first thing that happens when you're on your laptop?
Do you mean we should go technical or just the surface level?
Just
On the surface level, when you shut your laptop, it opens a notification if there's any document. You want to close this document. When you say yes, you automatically power down. When you power down, before you power down, it asks you if you want to go on whether you want to shut down or you want to sleep the computer. You pick shut down. When you shut down, everything closes. If there's any open file, it asks you to close it. Once you close it, the system power down, everything shut down, and it goes off. And if you want to restart, you press the power button, the system start booting, a blue screen comes up on your screen and start showing starting.
Wait. When you please hold on. When you power up your laptop, what happens?
You start reading from the BIOS file. You start picking from BIOS file.
You start seeing code, Abby. You start seeing code, Abby. Okay. Yeah. After that code, what next happens?
I will ask you to continue. Maybe it goes up, boot to your Windows. But if you are clicking F2, F3, ask you if you want to do advanced connection, you want to use BioFile, you want to change your, when you start clicking on F2, you want to change the system settings. But if you don't click on anything, it goes boot straight to the window. Yeah.
Beautiful. Good. Dolakbo, can you share your own experience too? It's very excellent. When you put your laptop, what comes up? Are you there? Okay, I think she's not here. Okay, Adeswa or Yvonne, can you share what happens when you own your laptop? What happens? Or your desktop?
It's almost the same thing Prince said. So once you turn on the laptop, for me, it tells you which of the operating system you want to use. If you want to use, let's say, if you want to use, let's say, Ubuntu, or you want to use Windows, when you click on like the Linux system, it starts bringing up code and wants you to put in your password. That's what I see on my system when I turn it on.
Okay, let me give you an illustration of what happened. Whenever you own your laptop like this, your system files are in your hard drive. There is a software or a hardware in your system called BIOS, Basic Input and Output System. What that BIOS does is that it helps you to systematically, it helps your system to come up systematically. So immediately you on your laptop, the BIOS will quickly go and check if your RAM is okay. And if your RAM is okay, that is a temporary memory. It moves file from your hard drive and put it in your RAM and start showing you. First of all, we ask you, where do you want your files to be moved from? Do you want it to be moved from your hard drive, or you have another place where you want your files to be put from? That's when it shows you that boot option. If you let it be, it will automatically go to your hard drive. That is the default, and move all your file and place it to your RAM. If your RAM is functioning well, your RAM will now load the hard drive, the things that you need for your hard drive to your system to be for you to have access to your system. That is called desktop loading. You understand me? Immediately you load it at your desktop, then you will now start clicking any button. Whatever thing you click, the BIOS setting with the help of your operating system and system software, they will start going and be moving your files, and you start enjoying it on your screen. But what makes up your system to function, first of all, is your hard drive. 2, your RAM. 3, your processor. Take note of this thing. 4, the network, because there are so many things that is going to be moving on your network. You understand me? Then all those things are what we call a basic system requirement. You understand me? So the same thing with server. Server is just like a normal system that you are using. So the difference between server is that server is a laptop or a computer that is somewhere that everybody is connecting into and making use of. That is the difference between a server and your local system. It works with like a client management here. You the administrator or a user of the server and a client that is connecting to it. You understand me? So that is how the server is. So when you're talking about IaaS, we're talking about setting up a system that you can put a resources inside for people to use. Please a minute. I'll get back. Please a minute, please. Please a minute. So sorry about that. I just quickly need to attend to that. So when you boot your laptop from your stuff, for a server to work, you have to have those basic things. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show to us what it takes to set up a server in the cloud. What do I mean by that? What it takes to set up a server in somebody else's data center using their website. That's why it's called cloud. The word cloud actually means somebody else have a data center somewhere else, or you are setting it up, you are using it through your laptop. So what we're going to do today is that how to set up a server or a system that you can use to power any application, that you can put anything inside. Because you can see we are all using Zoom now, Abi, because Zoom is installed on your system, Abi. If you don't have Zoom on your system, you will not be able to communicate right now. So this your laptop is already set up. Then you now install Zoom on it. And with the help of the Zoom, we can communicate because you have internet network to your laptop and all of us are connected remotely. So the same thing we are going to do. I'm going to set up a server. Everybody's going to connect to it. I'm going to be using that server as if it's our own local laptop. There are some things your laptop cannot do, but server can do because server are mostly a supercomputer. They have resources more than your laptop. You understand? So these are the things. So what do you need to set up a server? First of all, you must know how to connect to your server. That is the networking. Because since we are using the internet to connect our laptop to our server, which is in the cloud, we are going to talk about a little about the network. What is network? A network is, I know when you come to network, some of us that have not done IT, we say, hey, network, oh, this one have come again. You want to start talking big things. No, network is just a simple language, which means a route to connect. For example, those of us, some of us stay in Benin, in Nigeria. Some of us are in Canada. Okay, let me ask Princeway. Your place to your work. When you were working, when you were not working remotely, when you were working in an office, you have a route where you follow to your office, Abi?
Yeah.
And you know how to, either you use a train, Abi, do you use a train or you use your foot? Or use your car?
I drive or use bus, yeah.
Okay, when you were driving, you know the path to follow through before you can get to your office, Abi, from your house. So that part that it takes for me to connect from your house to your office, and that part is called network. Okay. Though it shouldn't be a big thing. Any part that will take you to connect from one destination to another is called network. Are you getting me? The word internet means internetwork. It's not really a big deal. I'm a computer scientist. I'm a graduate computer scientist. So when I notice all these things, I discover that they are just making everybody scared of big word. So if you understand network to be inter-network, meaning network that have so many parts that is coming from so many angles. That's why it's called internet. Internet means inter-network, meaning there's a part, different parts to different ways coming from different angles. That's why it's called global internet-network. When you hear internet protocol, a protocol is not a big deal. Protocol is just like the rule that guides where you are moving. For example, you all know that when you are driving in Lagos, we are using the left-hand driver. It's not left-hand or be right-hand. In Lagos, I think Lagos is it right-hand again or left-hand again? I think Lagos is left-hand now. Whenever you are driving, you are using your left-hand.
It's left-hand. It's left-hand.
Why UK they drive
Right
UK
hand.
is right-hand. Beautiful. You see that rule that you have to follow to drive. It's called protocols. If you follow that rule successfully, you can drive. But if for example, we are using right hand, you now go and drive with your left hand side, and you are opposing traffic. You say you have break what traffic rule, Abi, and you be punished. It's a country that will take you to psychiatric hospital to examine you if you are working. The same way with network. If your package is not well channeled and is entering somebody else's lane, they will say you have break internet protocol. So that word IP actually means the rule that guides you that is sending traffic. That rule that guides it so that the internet you are sending will get to where it's going to. So that rule that guides it is called protocols. Understand me? So when you hear IP, don't see it like a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a simple word, internet protocol. So I believe we understand internet protocol right now. We're going to be making use of it every time in this place. So we understand internet protocol now.
Yes, it's clear.
It's clear. So it's not big, Abby. Now, when you say, why is it not in numbers? I'll tell you why it is number. I will send you my messages so that you can go and watch those videos. It will help you out. Now, let's go into VPC. What is VPC? Now, I told you that in data center, there are network everywhere. In my own data center, you have to connect network so that one system, and remember I told you network is connection from one place to the other. So from one system to talk to another, there should be a link, Abby. That link is called networking. So there's a physical link connection in a physical data center. There's a physical link connection to those physical data center, and those link actually help you to connect from one system to another. But AWS are telling you, don't worry about this link. We are going to connect all the link. We're going to link all the laptop for you. I'm going to make sure that the network has internet. But for you to use our resources, you're going to create something that looks like network for you. But it's not actually network, but they look like a network. Are you getting me? So that you'll be acting as if you're actually working on a network. That's why it's called virtual. Virtual means it look like, it's not it. So it's called virtual private cloud, meaning it's a form of a network that you use to connect to your resources. For example, now we are going to be launching instance. If we don't have a way to connect to our own resources, anybody can just go there and be using your resources, Abby. So which is not going to be right. You cannot be putting your resources there, somebody else will be using it. So AWS actually created a path so that you yourself can connect it to your network, to your resources. That path that AWS created is called a virtual private cloud. You understand me? Which is called VPC. Is it not clear now? Is it not clear? It's clear, Shay?
Can you recap that again?
Okay. I said in the physical data center, the AWS created a network from one system to connect to the other, from one server to connect to the other. You understand me? From one storage to connect to the other. They call it physical networking. Every data center has it. We're secured. But for you that we're going to be using their data center resources, they now created something for you so that you, through that part, you can also connect to your resources in their data center through the website. So it's not really a physical part, physical networking. It's a virtual, meaning a lookalike. It's not real. That's why it's called virtual. You understand me? But they did it in a way so that through that process, you can connect to your resources that is in their data center. So that part that they created, that you use to connect through to connect and access their resources, is called virtual private cloud, VPC. Some public cloud call it virtual private network, VPN. Does that mean some call it different names? But I know the popular name that most public cloud call it is VPC or VPN, or I think VPC VPN. That's all. I think Oracle Cloud Infrastructure call it VPN. Understand? They have different name they call it, but it's the same virtual. So when you are going to be using, when you are connecting it, you're going to look as if because the kind of nomenclature it has is going to have the same nomenclature like a physical networking system has. Are you getting me? But it's not actually physical networking system. They just want you to have that feel of a network. So when you are a cloud engineer and they're telling you must know networking, they are not actually asking you to know the real physical networking, but they should know cloud-based networking. They are similar. They use the same language, the same structure, but they are not the same like that. They are not the same like that. So that makes it more interesting. Because there are some people that call it network specialists. Their own is up to link from one system to the other. They know everything about network specialists. But if you are to learn network specialists and before you go into cloud, my dear, you spend 20 years because networking itself is deep. But if you understand that network idea, it will be easy for you to make use of cloud infrastructure because it's like they are going to be having a dummy, a form of a lookalike. So what we're going to be talking about is how to do that today, then how to create a network. So then storage, the same storage. You know, for your laptop to come up, you have what we call a hard drive, either hard disk drive, solid state drive, or solid disk drive, SDD. The current one is SDD. The same thing when you are also connecting the server when you are also launching a server in their data center, you can either use any of these drive too, but because without the drive, you cannot be able to own your server. Just like the way you cannot own your laptop without a hard drive. So that type of drive is called block storage. You understand me? Then there's another kind of drive. For example, a question now, do you have a Google Drive? You said yes. You know that?
Yes, I said so, yeah.
Google Drive. When you are using the Google Drive, you need to be running a laptop link to somebody and give that person the right to read that file. But mind you, that drive that you are sending is actually running in a server, but that server is not within your link. It's like a platform as a service. It's running in Google Cloud. Azure has their own. They have so-called drop, so many storage, but that kind of storage that you don't need to run a server that is already running somewhere, but you can use it to push save files and give it to somebody to also use. That kind of storage is called object storage. So AWS also they call it S3, meaning Simple Storage System, SSS. So that SSS is what they call S3 because the S is how many? The S is how many? Simple Storage Service, SSS, C2. Is E. The C is 2, mean Elastic Compute Cloud. So don't see like a big thing. You understand me? They're just telling you that this thing is a computer that is somewhere, but you can increase and decrease. So after having said this, let's go and look at VPC and storage and see how we can to tell you other ways you can also create it. Then I think I love the way Peter took the lead last game. Can you share your screen, please? Yeah, please, everybody.
Sorry, is
share
it
your
just
screen. I'm
me
going to
or
be
your
calling on you
or your
to do it.
or your
You're breaking. I don't know if it's my system too.
You said?
You're breaking. It seems as if you're
Am I
breaking.
breaking?
Yes, we didn't really understand
Jesus.
you well. You might be.
the internet. I think the internet is the network.
Oh, the network. I can see even the network is low here. Please, okay, a minute, please. Let me bring the network closer, perhaps. Closer. Before I bring it closer, Peter, please share your screen and take the lead. Am I better now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Please, can you share your screen, please? Or anybody that their AWS is up, can you just share your screen?
Okay, I can share mine.
Okay, go ahead. So having said this, all of you go and register for AWS Cloud Practitioner and get that certification because you need it to have a very good pay job. You need the certification. Don't worry, I'll be explaining, I'll be breaking it down. All of you will pass it. Nobody will fail that exam. I know how, I'll tell you how to pass it. I'll give you materials on how to pass it. Everybody go and get Cloud Practitioner. And if you have Cloud Practitioner, go and get Solution Architect. I am certified to professional level. So you need it. You understand? So well, I'll share some link on how you can get it free of charge or to some extent, even some with some discount. Okay, let's have, okay, go ahead. You are here now.
Yes,
In your,
I'm here.
okay, this place is called website. I mean, this is a normal website. So as simple as this website, there are some things that are behind this website, which is a data center. But with the help of this website, you can connect to their data center and make use of their resources. So when you are connecting to their data center using this place, this environment, and you are clicking, it's called console.
Console.
This is a console. But if you are using, you can also connect through it using your laptop, using code, the CLI, that's command line interface. I mean, that's also called that, and that's what we are going to be making use most time because it's faster. You know, this is like using a normal window. The other side is like really using the Linux. Okay. Go to that services.
Services. Okay.
Okay. Expand it.
I
think if you use.
Should I switch? Should I
yes,
switch?
Switch, please.
Okay.
Well, Patrick, I have a question. How many services are available in AWS? And how many services do we use for cloud computing? Is it all? Or there's a specific one for administrator, there's a specific one for DevOps, there's a specific one for big data, because they are all combined. Yeah.
Let me answer that question. That question is the most tricky question to really answer. The resources of AWS, even the AWS team, they are still building on it. They don't even have, nobody can 100% tell you how many resources they have. However, the most important part that you should know is how to set up a server and put application in it. That's the first thing you know. And the second thing you should know is that familiarize yourself with other services, because AWS group their services, they group it. You understand me? They group it. Like if you look at these services now, expand your screen, you see so many things that you see there. You look at it, there's what we call compute, there's what we call ARO, there's what we call blockchain. You understand me? You see they group it. And if you look at the group, so that you can be able to analyze the type of services you know. So if you are a big data, you can see that word blockchain is for big data, is for a big data is actually a blockchain is actually people that have different database. Are you getting me? For example, I'm in Nigeria, I have a database, I have a system. You are in US, Canada, and Peter is in US. Peter, you're in US now, Peter, you're in US. Then Toby.
Yes.
Toby is in South Africa. Are you getting me? I can have my own data center, my own database. Toby will have his own database.
Sorry, Patrick. I think you were in, okay. I think it's my connection. I wasn't still stable. Sorry about that.
Okay. So everybody will have our own database. But when I might have an application, if I call Toby, say, don't worry, instead of you owning the database, let's pair our database together so that we can be using the database as if we all own it and put the application in it. That part of pairing resources together so that they can use it, nobody will have 100% monopoly over it. It's called blockchain technology. It's the latest technology now that if you are even into database or DevOps, you should go and learn it because that is the future. Right now, we have few blockchains engineers. So as a DevOps engineer, your work is to make sure that everything the developers are doing, they do it smoothly and you help them to automate. So you see all these resources you see here, depending on the industry you are working with, those industries have their peculiar application that they use. That they can use that is close to them. For example, if you're talking about AI, anybody that is working in an industry like a smart home, you understand me? Smart industry, you know the meaning of smart home and smart industry now. A mini industry that a smart home means a home that can control itself. The light can come on by a snap. If you clap your hand, the light will come up. You understand me? You cough. You know, Siri, give me a Siri, play me Davido. Automatically, your system will start playing Davido. I think our phone can do that now. Even our iPhone can do it. Say, Siri, can you play me Shukudi? Any song you want to play. So that kind of a system that is automated that can work by itself is called smart. So when you are in that industry, you are building that kind of industry, you know the kind of resources you use in AWS. You understand me? So what do I mean? Those resources that AWS have is the one that they manage. However, there's also a prototype outside. There's also another version of it outside that is already existing. You understand me? You can either install it on your server or you say, no need of me installing it in my server. Since AWS already have it, let me use AWS own. You understand me? Since it's secure. You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand what I'm trying to say? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't get it. Are you trying to explain private cloud?
No, I'm explaining
cloud?
to you the reason why AWS has so many resources. That is not all resources that you should know. But you should know the resources that is related to your feed. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because in database, we have Postgre, we have RDS, we have DynamoDB, but not all these database that you all use. For example, if you are just hosting a common web-based website, you don't need the MongoDB. Sometimes what you just need is just MySQL or MariaDB, Abi. And if that's what you need, Abi, that's what you will use. You won't say because AWS have all DynamoDB, everything, you will now launch everything. So you only use what is available, what is applicable to what you are designing. That is why you need a solution architect, you need a developer. But you as a DevOps engineer, you should know how to set up a system. Whatever thing the developer wants to use for their application, you should be able to set it up for them to use. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I don't know if I'm able to pass that message.
Yeah,
Please,
I mean, yes. Okay, so I think it's clear, but I can try to explain what you're trying to say. So what Patrick is trying to say is that we should know the tools that the organization are using. So take for example, now for us now, we're supposed to know like maybe server, we're supposed to know like EC2, okay, I just had a brain freeze, but the things that we're supposed to know. So we're not supposed to know like everything, just the few services that our line is supposed to do. But my question I want to ask is that, so like, are we the one to say, okay, like it's preferable for us to use Postgre or Oracle, or like, is it us that are supposed to determine that? Sorry.
let me answer that question clearly. That question is a very technical question too. When you join a company and the company is spending $200,000 to build the application, and you have used another application, another service that is better than what the company is using and is cheaper, and is smarter compared to what they want to do. You understand me? Because you have that experience, you can share to the company and say, oh, for example, we are using a DynamoDB. The DynamoDB allow you to stream events, maybe pictures, anything in real life events is stronger compared to Postgre. You understand me? You can say, instead of using this DB, let's use MongoDB. MongoDB, you now explain to them why they should use MongoDB. And you should say, okay, instead of us to be managing, creating user, deleting user, backing up database, setting up alerts for database so that database will not go down. When database go down, your application is down. So instead of doing this stress, why not just look for the one that AWS is already managing so that they can manage it for us and remove the stress from our hands, instead of employing database specialists, database engineer that will now be doing all these things for us, and we'll be paying them every day, and we'll also be having issue. Why not just use the database that is managed by AWS? If you're able to suggest to the company and the company buys it, automatically you have saved the company some money, and you have also made the company more soft and more easy, So that is it. You are not supposed to force anything on anybody. But if you have a better option that the company can adopt, are you getting me? It's your job to suggest to the company. Mind you, as a solution architect, you should understand one thing about the difference between a solution architect and a DevOps. Let me tell you the difference between a solution architect and a DevOps. Somebody have an application. For example, we're talking about the application we want to design now. Remember, Toby and I were talking about designing an app. What are the first one? We're talking about medical application, an application that anybody can use to diagnose and perform medical services, Now, that is a product that we want to do. We will now call somebody, a developer, that understands different tools and different applications. And say, okay, look at what we want to do. We will now call the developer, the owner of the application, who suggests, okay, which tools will be better for us? So a solution architect will now tell you, okay, let's use a microservice. Okay, that microservice for this kind of application is going to have an admin service, it's going to have a front end, back end, a CDH, customer data management system. It's going to have a transaction service so that people can make payments. In all those things, a design it. That is the work of a solution architect. Then after the solution architect have designed it in a higher level, they will now present it to an infrastructure engineer and a developer. They will now be thinking about the best programming tools they will use. That is not your work as a DevOps engineer. However, if you know it, that does not mean that you cannot contribute because you are supposed to be part of the system. Are you saying that a solution architect cannot be a DevOps engineer? Yes, in these days, some solution architect can play DevOps engineering role perfectly because some of them are from infrastructure. But there's a difference between a solution architect and a DevOps engineer. Do you understand that? So that when you are going for a job interview, they will not be interviewing you for a solution architect when you're actually going for a DevOps engineer. As a solution architect, you should have an idea of all services and how it works so that you can use it to design your application that is running. But as a DevOps engineer, your work is to make sure that every tool that the developers have decided to use, and you have to make sure that that tools is working well. One, that things that they are doing every time, they will not be doing it every time. You will not design a system that will be happy to do it for them. That's automation. That as the developers are working, they are seeing it. That's CI/CD. That the application is safe, security, and everybody can see what is going on inside the server. That is what we call visualization. These are the functions of a DevOps engineer. Am I clear? Am I clear now?
Yes, it's clear for me. And yes, you answered the question well. I mean, I don't know if Prince Will is clear with this question.
Please, we should know the
Yeah, I'm
difference
clear.
we should know the difference between a DevOps engineer, a solution architect, are you getting me? A cloud engineer and an SRE engineer. They are different, but they look alike. But a DevOps engineer, which is the most trending one now, because why? Some developers people want their system to be smart, to be fast, to be agile. So they need an agile specialist, which is a DevOps engineer. So you have the system to come out smart. Have their development to be work fast and everything. I think I've spent so much time talking on excuse me. I think I've spent so much time talking about this thing instead of going practical, but it's very, very important we clear this because I've gone to some interview where they were asking me solution architect questions. I have to let them know that this is not a solution architect role. This is a DevOps role. So tell me, there's some questions sometimes they will be asking you you are a senior member. For you to even be talking about DevOps, you are a senior. There's not like a junior DevOps team. A DevOps engineer is a senior role. It's not for junior role. You don't just wake up to become a DevOps engineer. It's that you have either been from infrastructure or you are from a developer. There's not like a junior role in DevOps. So there's a higher role in DevOps called senior DevOps engineer, but a DevOps starts from middle. You are an intermediary to senior role. That's the work of a DevOps engineer. I can see everybody here now has been working before, Abby. Do we have any new person to IT here? No. Everybody, we have been working somewhere. You understand? We are upgrading our skill.
No,
so
Patrick, we have a lot of new persons to IT.
You said?
We have some new people in the IT world. I'm new. I'm not an IT person.
But unfortunately, you didn't start from the scratch. You started from the senior role. So congratulations. That's the little I can say to you. Because after this lab, you're not going to be going for IT support. As you call yourself a DevOps engineer, they already see you like a solution person. You understand me? You're not going to be learning. I'm not saying that you are better than them, but what I'm saying is that your role is a senior to intermediate role as a DevOps engineer. That's why they pay you well. That's why they give you wahala. That's why they expect more from you. That's why you should be ready. You should be hungry to learn it. You understand me? So, because you are the last man standing. If the developers cannot solve it, you cannot solve it. That means the system is already out. So you are the last man standing. I just joined some company right now. So I'm talking to you right now. I'm learning a new skill set because the stack I'm used to is not the stack they are using. And I cannot go there and today we'll do the first work. Tomorrow, last week, we have even done 2 tasks successfully. So this week, I know they already tasked lined up for me. I can't say, okay, I can't use Datadog. I don't understand. I can only use Prometheus and Grandfather for my observability. And I call myself a DevOps engineer. I already messed it up. So I know Grandfather and Prometheus, congratulations, but they are not using it. They are using Datadog. So I have to go and learn Datadog. Not just learn it, I must learn Datadog. But because I have Prometheus and Grandfather before, I'm going to work on it. Not like I'm going to start from the scratch. Like they are using Git Actions. They are using Jenkins. I don't use Jenkins. I've been fine. I've used Jenkins before, but where I come from, we are using CI/CD, which is Circle CI. I won't say because now they are not using Circle CI. I have to go and learn. I'm talking to you now. So in the past 3 days, 4 days, I've been watching videos, practicing Git Actions. I discovered that they are the same thing, but I just need to know the difference and why are people using it, which is what I'm practicing. As I'm talking, I'm also learning because companies varies from one place to the other. But being there as a DevOps engineer, you should know the tools they are using, especially for automation, and you should also contribute to the success and follow standards. So after that being said, please, let's go to our today's class. Sorry, we spent some time talking more on this, but I believe it's very, very useful. Was it useful?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it is.
Yvonne, was it useful?
Yes, it was. It's useful.
Edward, hope I didn't speak out of line.
Patrick, please, I just want to find out, for someone like me, how do I run with all these things?
So someone like you already running with it. Last week, I saw that I can even rate you as one of the high flyer in this lab. So you're already running with it. The only thing I can tell you is that keep up the pace and keep digging. Don't be comfortable. I can tell you are doing well, but keep up the pace and stop telling yourself that you are not from IT. See why you went to Canada, US, last 2 years. He just changed the second job as a senior DevOps engineer. Mind you, he was doing accounting, auditing. Auditing, what I call auditing, auditor. He's not even in IT. And he's succeeding. Glad to know you. Are you from auditing? Are you from music department?
I'm from finance and risk. Finance and risk.
And risk.
And risk.
So you are in the same shoe with CY. So if CY can do it, you can do it better.
You can, my brother, you can do it.
It's even here. CY is even here. Thank God.
You can
I didn't
do
know
it.
he has joined.
I was in banking, from banking to tax auditor with federal revenue.
Okay.
I got here, career change. All you need is dedication. Spend 2 hours of your time every day, 2 hours. If you like sleep career, you go, just to manage them, just 2 hours every day. Something will come out. Say today is EC2. I want to know what is EC2. Tomorrow, I want to know what is IAM. Next tomorrow, I want to know what is S3 bucket. Or this week throughout, I want to know what is EC2 this week, throughout this week. Just watch videos. There are a lot of content out there on YouTube, another source you can get info. And this Patrick is giving you like the basis. And they enjoy this class now. Not be say what they talk now, no, but I just did. I said they talk. I go carry my note, go back to my notes. So what Patrick, having access to Patrick is a big plus to you guys. I do still call him once in a while. We'll just discuss. It's a continuous, as you hear the word continuous integration, continuous deployment, it's a continuous research and continuous reading. Nobody know and finish. So Pali, keep it up, man. You can. God bless everyone.
Okay. Thank you for that, CY. I didn't even know that you've even joined the class, and
Thank you.
that is a plus. So coming from him now, I'm not boboing him now. I'm not boboing. As a matter of fact, when I was even talking to him recently, his wife has even joined the DevOps group. So am I lying?
My wife is even teaching me some things on DevOps self, because I introduced her. I introduced her in November last year. But right now, in fact, I do beckon on her to say, sweetheart, please, what is it? We explain to her. So okay. So it's all commitments. My brother, don't look, just give yourself a time frame. When you are receiving the money, or when you have no money now, remove money from the equation. By the time you're able to deliver on the job, you will be saying, oh my God, all this time you are burning to your data or everything to practice, you will appreciate the time, you appreciate Patrick, you appreciate whoever talked to you on the road to your success. And most of this work, they are repetitive. And if you happen to fall in a good team, just let them know your strengths. They'll just guide you through. And one thing I've noticed, anybody that is doing cloud, it's like there's a brotherhood among them. If you talk to 10 people online, 8 people will respond to you as if they've known you 100 years ago. So, like I said again, you are in a good hands with Patrick. He will give you the basis, which everybody needs, the foundation, what you should know. Look at how he broke all the EC2, all the database down. So all those things. Take a note, listen to this record again. Sky will be your limit. To everyone, dedication, time, sacrifice. It pays off in a very shorter period of time. Thank you. God bless everyone again.
Okay. Thank you so much again, Mr. CY. So I believe that one I've answered your question. Please, Mr. Edward, if I hear that I'm new to this place again, I'll be angry with you. You're going to pay me $500,000. You understand me? And everybody in cloud, I'm me talking with you. I'm in Nigeria. I did Nigeria with you here. My dear, last week, my level changed. My level have been changing. If you have been checking my status, you know that I'm no longer a boy in this job. But now I'm at least getting something reasonable, something I wouldn't want to mention how much I eat. Now, are you getting me? And I'm doing it at my comfort of my home. At home, I have 2 laptops. So forget about me, even CY too. So it's not about the money. The money should not be, but there's money. You will get money. That will be issue. Please just put yourself into this. And the interesting thing is that cloud in training is very, very cheap. It's everywhere. YouTube can even train you and become a DevOps engineer. Learn to know LinkedIn learning, everything free. Or nobody wants to learn because it's very, very, it takes time. And nobody can really, really guide you because it didn't look scattered. But by God's grace, I'm doing my best to bring what you really need. Are you getting me? Together. So that you follow that path, you understand? So that by the time you know what you really need, not everything. If you go internet and everywhere is scattered. For especially if you say DevOps, you put DevOps for internet, you'll be confused. You don't even know where to go to. But I'm trying my best to bring those things that you need. In AWS, I'm not teaching you everything in AWS. But when I'm teaching you, if you know it, you can know everything in AWS. In Linux, I'm teaching you, you understand me? The things you need, it's just the things you really need. You can start working on that. And with the things you need, you can get a job already. And if you are in a company working with that job for 1 month, 2 months, and they onboard you, you discover that you already know it. Most of all of us just want is just that first job. And if you get that first job and you go with this enthusiasm that you are having now, you will succeed. And I see all of us succeeding. Permit me to use in Jesus' name. My dear, that's my power.
Amen.
So we will also succeed in Jesus' name by God's grace. So let's go to that content delivery. Leave this blockchain. Blockchain, we are going to come into this. I'm going to come into this. Now, God, now Jesus,
Okay, so my power.
That'll be my help. Go to content delivery, networking and content delivery.
Networking and content delivery.
Yes.
Let me just type here. Networking. Network interface.
Just type VPC.
Okay. Okay, VPC. Okay.
But normally, please don't be surprised when you go to AWS today, you see different interface. They are
Yeah.
working on it. The interface this lady is seeing, if I log into my system, I may see the different interface.
Yeah.
I mean, they are also using AI. So don't be surprised. Don't say it doesn't look alike. But the whole resources is the same thing. Now, let's go straight to VPC. But before we go straight to VPC, let me talk about a little about the nomenclature of AWS. So
Okay.
let me mention this. I think we need this before we really go into this. AWS is worldwide. What do I mean that? They have data center worldwide and they rent data center. Not all of them that belongs to them. There are some data center in Nigeria that AWS is using. But their own data center that they have is in South Africa. But there are some edge locations that are in Nigeria. I won't want to mention the name of the company that is providing data center for them. You understand me? But this is how it works. They group data center together, maybe 2 or 3 data centers. They group it together and they call it AZ. You can't call it fault domain. Sometimes some people call it fault domain. Okay, what do you mean by fault domain? I will tell you the meaning of fault domain. But in AWS, they group data centers together. A data center comprises of, for example, now, remember all of us are using one laptop. You understand me? For a server to work effectively, sometimes they use like 3 power system going into one server. 3 power source. Some of them uses 2 power source. Then you have to plug 2 power going into the server. And every network that is also going to every server is 2, 2, 3, 3. So that in case one power goes off, the other power can still sustain the system. In case one power goes off, another power can sustain another system. That process of allowing 3 system, 3 network to go into one server is called fault domain. What do we mean? It's so that the system can have high fault tolerance. So most times it's called 2-tier or 3-tier. 2-tier means 2 source, while 3-tier means 3 source. Now, if you gather all these servers together, a data center together, that source together is called fault domain. Then data center 2, they make sure that they link 3 data centers together. You understand me? They link data centers, they group it together. They call it availability zone. Are you getting me? Availability zone called AZ. That availability zone has different fault domain inside. You know, remember I said one data center has 4 domain inside, meaning have 3 systems linked together. Then inside that fault domain, there's one we call AZ. AZ means availability zone. Data center, 2, 3 data center linked together. They call it AZ1. So one AZ can have 3 data centers. Then inside that data center, inside that AZ, they run link like 4 or 5 AZ together. And they call it region. You understand me? So if you go to the left, you can see that place now. You see region. Are you getting me? You see all these things are region. All this name you see here, this US 1, US East 1, US East 2, they are regions, meaning they are connections of data centers of availability zone, AZ. So when you are opening an account, you can decide to tell them where you want your data, your information to be saved. And that place for her, when she was creating her own, she put US what? US East, Virginia. So like me, if I'm creating my own, I'm in Africa, I may put South Africa. Like those in Canada can put Canada Central. You understand me? Means that is where you're going to be your primary place of your data center. However, that does not mean you cannot use any data center. You see the reason why people use this cloud. Imagine if you are to put your services globally, if you are to build data center all over the world, you know how much it will cost you. But now you don't need to build data center. They already have it almost all over the world. Meaning you can launch any server anywhere of this planet. So why should you use any zone? Well, it's what we call latency. Latency is the distance it takes for your file to get to the user. For example, as I'm browsing, when I say google.com, Actually, I'm not hitting google.com in US. I'm hitting google.com close to my house, close to my area, because the data center that will be servicing me is the data center that is close to my house, so that the distance, when I say enter, I can quickly access the resources and come back. That time it takes to access the resources on the server and come back is called latency. So the more your data center is far from the owner, are you getting me? The more it's going to take time. It's going to be high latency. You understand me? So understand that simple. That's the reason when you are launching a resources, you have to launch it close to your area, close to your house, or that use the same time zone with you. There are some resources that you are not supposed to launch it in some state. It's against the law. For example, now if you are having a resources, a data that have to talk about same sex, and you are doing it in Nigeria, you know it's against Nigeria rule for you to have a same-sex application running in Nigeria. You know, we all know now Nigeria is against it. You know, but in Canada or US, you know, it's not a crime. You know, so if you have a data in US, for that kind of data, you are not supposed to put it in Nigeria domain or any services that even in Africa. I think South Africa, I don't know if South Africa are also in line with that. So these are the things, there are some things that are prohibited. So that is why you have to follow compliance. Please, everybody go and do cloud practitioner. It's going to help you. We're going to give you a more detailed, but it's not like if you don't have it, you will not get a job. Please continue with your sharing, please. What happened? Please continue with your sharing. Now let's go, let's do that. So I understood, you guys understand the nomenclature now. That's why it's called, that's why they say data cloud services are highly available, meaning that highly available because they have highly different zones. That's what availability is. But it's different from scalability. Scalability is for a system to keep increasing and decreasing without you touching it, based on what you have set to the system. There's a difference between scalability and availability. Availability is talking about they have different data center everywhere that you can put your load and they can be available anywhere, anytime. But scalability is that instead of maybe you are increasing the load is like 20, and you want your system, maybe the server can only serve for 20 people, and your server is already at the highest. You can send it that immediately server gets to 80%, another server should pick up and add to what you have. So when the load goes down, the server that you have already added, since one server can contain it, the other server that was added before will be removed. That process of adding server and removing server automatically is called scalability. And that process of having a server anywhere in the world and putting your resources anywhere in the world is called high availability. So it's just the little different, because they're going to ask you in an interview. And you should understand that. So that when you have that knowledge, when you are doing your certification, it's going to help you more. So let's go to VPC, please. Click that VPC. Please, if you have services before that you don't use, you can delete it.
Okay.
When you open a VPC, virtual private cloud, remember I told you that this virtual private cloud is like your road that will lead to your server. Without this VPC, you will not be able to connect to have a server. So
should I create one now? Should I create
one.
this one first? Okay. Create
one. So there's what we call CIDR node, CIDR. I'm going to send you the video, please. You go and do research on that. CIDR node is the way, is the process, is the government body, is the standard. You understand me? That the name network or the design network. So network, I remember I mentioned the word IP. IP means Internet Protocol. So there are so many rules that you need to follow through in writing your network. So that rule that you use in writing your network that will also guide your system from moving from one place to the other is called protocol. And that protocol, IT protocol, has different versions. We have version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, version 6. So version 1 is called IPv1, which is totally out of use. Version 2 is called IPv4, IPv2. You understand me? IP version 2, that's IPv2. But the one we are using now is IP version 4 and IP version 6. That's called IPv4 and IPv6. And the meaning of the word CIDR means classless interdomain routing. Classless interdomain routing. I'm going to share you a documentation so I use. But for now, there are rules. It's in four parts. That 4 parts contained in 888. You understand me? So there are so many classes. We have class A, class B, class C, class D. Please go to my former class. I'll share it. Please go and follow the video. It's very, very easy. It's expository. Let's not use it to for this class. You understand? So put that number there. When you are creating a VPC, you either create a VPC, one VPC, or you create a VPC with a subnet. What is a subnet? A subnet is the division of that VPC. A VPC is like a house that you are building in AWS, the road that will lead to a house that you are building in AWS. So in that house or in that road, you can divide it. So when you divide that road into 2, you can divide it into different chunks, but they must look alike. So when you divide the VPC into chunks, it's called a sub network of the VPC. You understand me? Maybe I told you a VPC is a network. So when you divide the VPC, it becomes a sub network. You know, the meaning of the word sub means a part of, Abby?
Yes.
A part of, or a chunk of, or a portion of. So when you hear subnet, it actually means a sub of a network, and the network is the VPC.
Okay.
So you can either write a VPC or create a sub out of it. So right now, let's do a VPC. And the CIDR node, AWS right now only support /16, /24, /32. But that does not mean you cannot have /23, because if you are doing your Kubernetes engine, you can do that. But the bigger the octet, the smaller the number of breakage you can do. What do I mean? If they say something is /8, it means that you can create many subnets out of it. Please, that video, I will send it to you. Go and view this video, do the video. By the time you do the video and you add it to this, I just want us to do something today before we go. Please do the video. We're going to continue next week, Sunday, next week, Saturday, and talk more. But let's just create something.
Okay.
Use the CIDR node 10.0.0./16. Don't use 24. Use 16.
Okay.
16 will go.
Okay.
We're using CIDR, using IPv4. Okay. Now we're using default tenancy. What do you mean by default tenancy? Meaning that you are going to be paying. You don't want. We have two types of tenancy. Tenancy means when you are renting a house now. When you rent a house, you can either say, okay, I want to squat with somebody, or I want the room to myself. So when you are squatting with somebody, that is what most times, most VPC is at default, you are supposed to share. But you can tell them that I don't want to share, I want the whole house to myself. It's called dedicated. So now, today, let's let's squat. Let me squat with, who am I squatting with today? Let me squat with Dollar4. Let all of us squat with Dollar4 today.
Okay.
Dollar4,
yeah. The more the merrier. Yeah, that's fine.
Now create it. The CIDR node is 0.0. What did they say?
10.0.0.
10.0.0.0 is
0.10. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you have created a VPC. This VPC you have created is private. Why is it called private? It's because you are the only one that can access it. Nobody can access it from outside. Are you getting me? So for people to access it from outside, you have to give it a gate that will enable people to access it from outside.
Okay.
So that's why you're going to go to your gateway Gateway means go to your internet gateway
Okay.
and add an internet gateway, create an internet gateway and add it to this VPC. Internet gateway means internet means anybody, gbogbo can come in, gbogbo can go out.
Patrick, what's Gbogbo?
Gbogbo is a Yoruba language. I mean anybody. You're not serious.
Okay, so
if you look at your cider notes, the cider note is going to be 0.0.0.0. Is that internet gateway? Yes, setting.
yes, so I can create, right?
Yes,
Without
create.
the tag. Okay.
Great. So now you have created a gate.
Yes.
And that gate that you've added to that VPC is that gate is that anybody can come into the VPC. This VPC can go to the internet. Go to that action.
VPC.
Attach
to the action, okay.
Yes.
And attach it to the VPC.
Attach
okay.
it to that VPC you created.
So how will I now know? This is the VPC, right? The other one, I didn't even name it VPC. Okay, let's go back. Sorry. Let's go back, everyone. I'm sorry for taking everyone back. Let's go back. It should be this one, right? So the 9.
Create another one.
I shouldn't give it. I want to give it a name here. Okay.
So please always name your VPC so that you won't go and create VPC
confuse
and
yourself.
Another one. Normally, in a standard environment, you are supposed to remove all default VPC from your system. Okay. All default VPC has an internet gateway to it, so you are supposed to remove everything. So attach that gateway to that VPC.
Okay. Okay, now, and I can only attach to one VPC to one. Okay, I think that's why they didn't. I mean, the remaining did not show because they've been attached them to a VPC.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Now, this VPC you have created, what you are saying is that this row that I have created, I want this row to have access to the internet. I also want internet to have access to it. That's why we call it. You created an internet gateway to it. However. When you are creating a sub out of it, it does not mean that the sub, people can access the sub. You cannot control the sub. So go to that subnet, create a subnet.
Okay. Okay, let me just create a new one.
Create a subnet from that VPC. If you are creating a subnet, you have to create a subnet from a VPC.
VPC, okay.
That VPC you have.
Okay, so I go back to my VPC.
It's asking you are creating a VPC. Which subnet with this VPC is going to be attached? Remember I told you a subnet is attached to a VPC. Because a subnet is a chunk. So what you are saying is that I want to divide the network. That's why it was asking you earlier that which network do you want to divide?
Okay.
Okay, go to create subnet. Go to subnet. Click subnet.
Okay. Sorry, I was just writing.
All of us, please do this thing. Please do this thing. You have so many subnets.
Okay.
So you attach
so I'll
to that
go
subnet.
To this one. Okay, gotcha.
Now, if you look at the cider note of that subnet is /16.
Yes.
So you have to divide that 16 by 24.
We are dividing 16 by 24.
So that means the cider note of that your VPC is going to be /24. It's not going to be /16 because 16 is the big one. So you have to have a small out of it. It's not compulsory that it must be 24. You can have 32.
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I thought when you divide something, you should get something lower, like you should get something like 8.
No, that is something you should understand. 8 is bigger than 16.
Okay.
16 is bigger than
32.
32 than 24. 24 is bigger than 26. If you tell, there's something I'll share with you, please. After this, I will share the video. Go and watch that video. It's detailed.
Okay.
Please go divide it into 24.
Okay.
Go to the cider block. Give it the VPC name. Always name your VPC. Please.
Okay. Subnets, what should I call it?
Call it training, DevOps subnet. This part is the most critical part. What I'm showing you now is the most critical. If you miss this part, please come back and ask me question, because this is the bedrock. You can launch any server, do anything, but if you don't know how to set up your network, you already missed it. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I always get job. By God's grace, I always is favoring me, because I know this thing by God's grace. So if you know this thing, you get a job. People are scared of this part.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, now you've created a subnet, Abby, a chunk out of the data, out of the VPC. Now, have you given it a name?
Yes,
And
I have. Sorry, chunk.
Good. You already target. Just give it a tag so you can use it to remember. Then create.
Sorry, I'm coming just a minute, please. So I'm just. Okay, yeah. So I'm just taking down notes. Okay, so I target, right?
Yes. Then
so,
target. Just call it name and call it DevOps. Then create.
So I should add a new tag.
No, that tag is enough. That tag is enough.
Okay.
I'll tell you the importance of tagging later.
Okay.
Then,
then I create, right?
Yes. Now, this subnet you've created is under the VPC that was public VPC. However, that public VPC that subnet is not public.
Okay.
Because you've not told the subnet to take network from the internet gateway that's already attached to the VPC. So that subnet is still private. Now you have to go to the route table. Take note of what I'm doing now. The route table will tell you how things will go into the subnet.
Can I please draw you back, please? Can I please draw it back? So this subnet, why do we need to divide it into? Why do we need a subnet? I know you explained it. I just want to just understand it.
This is why you need a subnet, because the VPC is very broad.
Okay.
I think this VPC cut across regions. I say regions, cut across different data centers. It's region-based. A VPC is region-based, meaning if you are launching your instance in US is one. All the data center in US is one. Are you getting me? All the data center. Remember I told you that in a region there are sub-availability zone, AZ. As a region is the combination of different data center. A different availability zone. And availability zone is the combination of different data center. So when you create a VPC, that VPC is going to give you access to all the data center and all the region that you created. So it's broad. So you need to channel your resources to a particular availability zone. So that you will know where your resources really truly is.
Okay.
So that is why you need to create a chunk, which is a subnet. And when you are creating a subnet, if you take note of the subnet, it was telling you which availability zone you want to put it. Maybe I ask you.
Okay, sorry to come in there. So what happens if I decide not to create a subnet? It won't work because
you decide not to create a subnet. Where will you not put your resources? You will not be able to put your resources because you put your resources inside the subnet.
Okay, I have to put my resources in the subnet always. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
And it's your subnet that you now either make it private or public. But your VPC must have internet so that people can connect from outside.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So please take note of this. Everybody is simple. It's as simple as what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Okay, Patrick, I have two questions. Okay, the first one is where or how did you get the 10.0.0.0? That's the first question. Then the second one is what determines what you use, 24 or 12 or 16 or 64? What determines it?
Beautiful. I know the question would have been properly answered in those videos that we did before, but I'll briefly just break it in. one, maybe I told you the word protocol, Abi, the rule that guides your network from going, Abi?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a body that came up with how you can name it. Are you getting me? That's why we are saying 10.0.0.0/30.2016. Those are the body that came up with those CIDR, they call it CIDR node. CIDR node means classless interdomain routing rule. Are you getting me? So those numbers, they are in 8 bits, in 2, they are in bit 2, but they are in 8. Meaning, the other way I will share, just go and do that video. You will see all the calculations. Does that mean? So you have the first quadruple, second quadruple, third quadruple, fourth quadruple. You understand me? And that quadruple you can divide into 16, which is /16, /24, /32, and /64, and so on. So now, if you want to design I remember I told you that /16 is very big, can accommodate up to 1 million subnets. You can have many subnets. So if you are designing a network that will require many subnets, you understand me? Many resources, better you go for the higher one, because that higher one has more subnets than it has the subnet that you can divide than the one that have /16. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the bigger your VPC CIDR, the more subnet you can create out of it. So in a company, most companies does not use 10.0. They use 192 or 172 or 198. Abi? Madeline, if you look at your system,
Yes, that's right.
Your system use 192, 178, 198. They don't use 10.0. 10.0/64 is for big infrastructure, but it's allowed here because this is not really the real data. I remember I told you it's not really the network, it's a virtual network. I remember I mentioned it earlier that they are trying to give you something to have that feeling that you're actually doing a network, because this 10.0.0.0/24 that $per use, I can also use it on my system and it will still work. But however, the VPC have a unique identifier that will make her own different from my own. So you understand me? You get what I'm trying to say. So our own has a unique identifier. Please go and watch that video. But the answer to that question is that depending on how many subnets you want to create will determine the CIDR node I'm going to use. Then for those number 10.0.0 is a body that comes together. They give us these numbers to use, so that with this number, we can guide our role on how our network can be routing from one domain to the other. And that rule is called CIDR. Huh? Are you saying something to me? Hello? Can
Sorry,
you hear
that
me?
was me. I apologize. I thought I was muted. That was me. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. So I will share more resources, but go and do that video. It's on my module. You will understand much better. So now you've divided this VPC into a small one. This subnet you did now is a private subnet. Now I want you to make this private subnet a public subnet. How do you do that? That internet gateway you created and that is attached to your VPC, add the internet gateway to this subnet. How do you do that?
Okay.
You go to the route table.
Subnets. Oh, okay. Route table. Okay.
Go to the route table, create a route table.
Okay.
A route table is the way you access the resources in your network, in your subnet is being accessed. So remember, look at it. VPC has a subnet.
Sorry, please. Do you want to take that again? Is the way?
Is the way you can access your subnet. If VPC has a subnet has a route table. A route table, the word routing. Remember the word routing means entering and going out.
Yeah.
So you can tell how you want your people to access your subnet, and people cannot access your subnet. So when you attach an internet gateway to your subnet, you have made that subnet a public subnet. because there's an internet gateway. You know, when you are routing through internet gateway means 0.0.0.0/0, meaning anywhere. That's the meaning of
Okay.
0.0.0.0/0.
Mhm.
And when you attach an internet gateway to a subnet, you have made that subnet a public subnet. So at default, remember I told you this, the principle of least privilege. At default, all subnets are private.
Okay.
Why? So that they can be secure.
Yeah.
When you are having an infrastructure that does not need to connect, as at default, you're not even supposed to put a very vital information or resources in a public subnet because anybody can access it. But you need a public subnet so that your private subnet can also have internet to this, so you can also have access to the internet. I'll tell you that. But let's take it one step at a time. Attach an internet gateway to the subnet and make that subnet a public subnet.
And
So
but it's
name-
asking attach a VPC.
Yes, a route table must have a VPC that you attach to it. Have you done it?
Okay, so this is the route table. So I want to create it now.
Have you created a route table? Have you attached to
No,
a
I'm
VPC?
no, I just attached the VPC. I'm about to create it now.
That how do you are calling it DevOps training? How would you know that this is a subnet, this is a route table?
Okay, okay.
You can use the prefix of ROTB.
Okay.
No, just say DevOps route table, DevOps public route table or internet route table. Have you
Is it
done
okay?
that? Yes, good. Create, attach the, but you've not defined the routing rule. You understand me? Now don't hold on now. Don't be in a hurry. Now you look down. You see down. You see that destination is 10.0.0/16. Have
Okay.
you? And you
Yes.
look at the target is local, meaning it's
Mhm.
private. Okay?
Yes.
Now you look at the other one. Now go to edit route. Now, when you are editing this route, add a route to it. Now, this is where you now put an internet gateway. Put it 0.0.0. Yes. Then that place, select your internet gateway that you created that time. Touch it.
So that's it, right? Sorry.
Yes. Internet gateway. Get the internet gateway you attach to it. Beautiful. If you touch it, and if you actually add the real VPC that you created, you're supposed to see your internet gateway that you created. You saw the internet gateway that you created now.
Yes, I have. Mhm.
Beautiful. Now, attach it. Mind
Okay.
you, you've not attached this route table to any subnet, you know. Create.
Okay. So sorry. The route table needs an internet gateway for it to function. Without the internet gateway, it will just be private itself.
No, not really. A route table, for you to make a route table, for you to make a route table, an internet route table that you can add to a subnet, you must attach an internet gateway to it.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not the internet gateway that makes it a route table, because you can decide to make different routing rules. You understand me? To a route table. Please don't miss me here. I beg you. If you miss me here, voila, you understand me? A subnet. Take note. Let me bring it up. A VPC has a subnet. A subnet is a chunk of a VPC, and a subnet must have a VPC must have an internet gateway for you to connect to internet. Abi?
Yes.
Now, a subnet is not compulsory. A subnet is using the internet gateway. But the way you control how people can connect to your subnet, is through either the internet gateway, which is already attached to your VPC. That will make that if you now attach that internet gateway to your route table and you attach that route table to any subnet, that subnet becomes a public subnet. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, the subnet at default is private.
private, okay.
So this route table that you created now, go to that actions.
Okay, actions.
Attach it to a subnet.
Edit subnet.
Edit subnet association.
Edit subnet association.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, which subnet did you attach it to?
This one.
Now you click it. Then you now
save association. Okay.
This is where you now made that subnet a public subnet.
Mm-hmm.
Before the subnet was a private subnet. Now, when you just added that route table, that is a public, that has internet gateway. You understand me? You just added it, immediately just added it to that subnet. Banga, the subnet is now a public subnet. Meanwhile, the subnet has an internet. If you look at the route, look at the cider node of that internet gateway, you can see 0.0.0.0/0, meaning anywhere.
So anywhere, yeah.
Now you made a public subnet. Now let's make a private subnet. Create another subnet.
Yeah. Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
So why do we need a private subnet? I thought if you have a public subnet, you can go anywhere and people inside can also go outside. So why do I need a private subnet? Is it just for my organization so that we're able to do something privately?
Beautiful. That's part of it. Security.
Okay.
If you look at that cider note, it's giving you 0.0.0.0, meaning anybody can go in, anybody can go out. And it's wrong for everybody to just be going into your subnet and going out into your resources, especially for your database. It's wrong because it's not secure.
I'm sorry, but it can be like an application that you want everybody to be using, right? So why do I still need to create a private if I want everybody to be using that application?
Beautiful. That is the technicality that makes you a professional. If you put the application in this subnet, everybody can access it. But although there are other ways you can restrict the people that will access it using the security group, which is the firewall, or using the web application firewall. However, it is best practice that at default, nobody have access to it. But you can now connect it to this public subnet so that that private subnet, that your application that is going to be your private subnet, can through this public subnet go out.
We have made some recent changes to our menu.
Thank
Please
you.
listen carefully to the following.
Oh, it's doing that. It's owing us 10,000 naira, $14,000. So look at it. This is a public subnet. And this public subnet have access to the internet and everywhere. Now we want to create another subnet that will be a private subnet. But that private subnet will be passing through this public subnet to go out. But the public cannot pass and come in. Number one. Number two, can you just get something here? That's what we are doing is I'm training you as a professional. I'm not training you like somebody coming up, because if I want to train like somebody coming up, it's just for me to say, okay, to put an instance on this public subnet. Automatically, if you put an instance in this public subnet, you have access to the internet. Okay, let's try it. Let's not create a public subnet first. Just create a private subnet. We are in this class together. We're not going anywhere. Although we already exceeded the time we're supposed to do today.
Okay.
Just create a private subnet. Yes.
So same route, right? So subnets.
Yeah. Yes.
So okay. And
attach it to that VPC. The subnet will be attached to a VPC, the same VPC you created. What's the name of the VPC you created?
Okay, cloud team.
Okay.
So
that subnet must have the same cider node, but they must not clash with the common cider node of the other one.
Interesting. Okay, so let me just call it
private subnet. This is what will give you the job that you're looking for. This one. This is what will give you the job. But not everybody really understand this. This is very complicated,
Yeah.
but by God grace is easy. I'm getting it easy now. Now, you look at the cider node you are going to create. You're going to be 10.0.0.0/24. But you cannot use this because you have already used it before.
Use 24. Okay.
No, you are going to be to say 24, it must be 24.
Okay, so should we change this one to 1 inside?
Now you don't change that first one, you change the second one.
Then this one.
Yes, not that one, not the first one, the second one.
Okay. Why the second one, please, if I may
It's
ask?
not up to 4, it's supposed to be 4. Are you sure it's up to 4? It's supposed to be 10.0.0.1.
That's okay.
It's supposed to be 4.
Okay.
.0.
Okay.
No, it's more than this. Is not 5. 10.0.0.
I gave for the last time. Yeah, this right.
So this is 4.
Yeah, it's correct now.
The reason is that this last
Okay.
one, this last 0 here, is where the data, the services, is where the immediately you launch any instance is where the resources is going to be put, is going to be given the number 2. So immediately you look at your cider node of your VPC, you're not going to see this like 24. You're going to see that 10.0.0.1, either .1, .2, .24, .128. You understand me? That is going to be, that's why that last one is not, you are not supposed to put any figure there. For your subnet, you use the third one, not the second one. The second one is for the VPC. The first one, the third one is for your subnet, while the last one is for the application to give you the cider notation. So take note of that.
Okay.
So create.
Okay. I'm coming, sorry. Okay, so create now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this VPC is private. Are you getting me? Okay. But we want to create a form of an internet gateway that we have access to the internet, but internet will not have access to it. That gateway is called NAT, Network Address Translation.
Okay. So I'll go to NAT gateway.
Go to NAT gateway and create one. A NAT gateway is actually created from an internet gateway. Because why? You are saying that this subnet connects traffic from this public subnet, but don't allow the public to access it. So that's why it's going to give an elastic IP. So now you're going to attach. What did he ask you there? It says select.
So select is okay. Sorry, go ahead.
What did he tell you there?
So it says select a subnet in which to create the NAT gateway. So I selected the one, the subnet we created, the private subnet we created.
The public subnet.
The private one. It's not the private ones.
It says select the subnet to what? To which? What did he write there?
So it says select a subnet in which to create the NAT gateway.
Okay. You cannot create a NAT gateway from a private network. You're going to create it from a public. So that subnet that has internet gateway, so you're supposed to put that.
Okay.
Because it's translating a network from the public. Then you now say allocate elastic IP. Type it. Click there. Click allocate. You don't have allocate. Yes. Now, this elastic IP that he has given to you, this elastic IP can connect to the internet gateway, which is this subnet, but the internet cannot connect to it. So you create it.
Repeat that, please.
Stop.
Yeah, repeat the part where you explain to allocate the elastic IP.
An elastic IP is a masqueraded IP that that connects to the internet, but the internet cannot connect to it. Remember, if the internet cannot connect to it, means that the internet cannot access it, Abi.
Okay.
Then if it can connect to the internet, meaning that it can send traffic to the internet, Abi. So that means it can send a load to the internet, but the internet cannot connect to it. That's why it's called elastic IP. So because you need to connect to the internet, that is why you must connect it, create it from a subnet that has an internet gateway to it.
Okay.
That was why we created a public subnet before. Then we are now creating this NAT gateway from the public subnet. Meanwhile, as you have created it, you've not attached it to any subnet, or you are only just creating this NAT gateway. So create the NAT gateway.
I'm so sorry, Patrick. Sorry, is it safe to say that we're trying to steal the internet from, take the internet from the public one to give it to the private one?
Yes, but
okay.
we're picking the internet from the public one. We're attaching it to the private one, so that the private one can get access to the internet, but the internet will not have access to it.
Yes,
because it's a NAT gateway.
Got it. So the NAT gateway is just trying to steal, but it doesn't give anything. But it's just, as I'm wanted to take it. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, it's just give out, connect, so that when your server wants to go to the internet to update, it can quickly go and update. When your resources resources wants to connect to the internet, it can connect to the internet. But the internet will not just be moving as if it is their property. You understand me?
Okay.
And
got you.
It's just a layer of security. And what you've created now is what we call a backstone host.
Okay.
Backstone host, meaning you have created an adapter that can connect to the internet. Now, with these two resources we've created now, when you want to create, let's not go get ahead of ourselves. Now you've created two services, two subnets, one private, one public. Mind you, what we just did now, AWS have a quick way of doing it. You understand me? If you okay, now let's go to our wizard, go to VPC again.
Sorry,
go to
VPC.
create VPC. You can see the VPC now. He said the setting says, what did you say the setting say? Create VPC only. If you click the other side, click the other side, see the second one. Create VPC and subnet.
Okay,
now,
he has linked it for us. Oh.
You can see now. He's telling you what type of VPC do you want to create. Is it public, private? You can see these ones are, you understand me? These are different type of subnet that you want to add. You understand me? So this is automatic way of creating that CIDR node. So it automatically, when you place all your information here, it will create what we just did now. To create it for you automatically. Why didn't I come here first before going there? Because some company will want you to know how to create it. Custom creation. Because when you know it granularly, you can now use a wizard to create. You know what you are doing. You understand me? So what we just did now, I can tell you 90% you understand networking. This is it.
Okay.
Now let's go to security group. At default, every server, nobody have access to the server. So a security group is a rule that opens up some part of the server for people to connect to it. It's like a door. You understand me? It's like a sack of, it's like a sack of rice that is sealed. You understand me? So you can now use a cone to shook it. Anyway, remember when you shook a cone of rice with a big cone and you leave that cone inside, you know, rice will start pouring out. Abi, you can also pour something inside that sack of rice, you know. So a server is like a sack of rice. That code that you click is called pot. So you can either open this pot or you close it. For example, many of us have had TCP. What is the meaning of TCP?
Transfer TCP. Transfer something protocol. I'm not sure.
TCP.
Transfer.
TCP
Patrick.
It's called Transmission Control Protocol. Mind you, if you are doing something like this, you don't know it, go to your Google fast, quickly type it. You understand me? It makes you understand? You have to just be using, not everything, Patrick. Sometimes I know I can also sometimes I also consult Google too. But TCP, it is a transfer control protocol, and different, it has different ports. Like the SSH we are talking about is under TCP. Understand me? Like port 80, port 443, they are all transfer TCP. Like database is some is 3306. You understand me? Some are 66. Some different ports. Then we have another protocol called UDP. Most times, what we are using now, both of us, what we are using to communicate now is called UDP. There are so many PPP, not like PDP. I'm not saying PDP now. PDP is not, it's a political party. You understand me? So we have different protocols. But I believe you can go and read that. Use that diagram protocol. But they have their advantage and their disadvantage. We have SNMP. We have different protocols. But just understand that protocols are what I have to go to. Beautiful. So now, okay, let's just conclude this. Can we stop here? Can we stop here?
We didn't create a
Yes,
security.
please stop.
Oh, okay.
I should stop here, Abi.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So we need to watch this video over again. 2 hours is long.
Okay. My dear, frankly speaking, I wanted to continue and just create an instance. I launched an instance, but I realized if I do that, it's going to take time. But the videos I have, I'll just send you 2 or 3 videos of it. And from here, I know you can watch that video and you enjoy it now. I'm very, very sure you understand me and master it. Wow, what an awesome time. Stop sharing, Dollar. What an awesome time. Stop
Thank
sharing.
you, bro.
Stop sharing. Wow, did you have fun?
Yes.
You had fun, Shay.
Yes,
Yes, Patrick, thank you.
Yeah, but it was a little bit so fast, so I have just to go back to the video.
But it's easy, Shay. I use all the language you used to know. The only language I did not use is Igbo. I don't know how to use Sing. I use small Yoruba. I use PG. I use different analogy. So I believe I was able to communicate to us, to my best of my knowledge. And please go and visit this video again. If you can complete this video, we added that creation of VPC, route table, and subnet, and security group. The one we wanted to talk about is security group. If you know those 4, you are already a cloud engineer. The remaining thing is just left, right, and center, because the foundation, you must know how to access your resources. That is the foundation. And it's complicated though, but we have made it easy for you. So the remaining thing is just keep flying. Okay. Wow. So any question? If you have anything, if you miss anything, please TM me, I'm available. Though this week for me is really, really packed up with activities.
So
Really
I have
packed up.
I have a question. I want to know if yeah, I want to know if in the your workstation, I mean where you work, right? They're going to specify exactly task are you going to do, or you have to know all those services.
Well, different companies have their own different management rule, but the most company uses agile management system called Jira. And that Jira, they will tell you, the group will know what they want to do, the tasks they want to do. They cannot share the task within the DevOps team and every other team. So the tasks allocated to you is based on your strength. You go and do it. And if you have issues, the next morning, you come together, you have a stand-up, you tell them, I have issue when I was trying to do this. Can you help me out? They will give you an idea, and you get me. That's called stand-up. Then after that, you go back and complete it.
Okay.
So it's a simple thing, but that's why they need you to have this skill set so you can help solve issues.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we can already say that we can set up a VPC and all the network in AWS, right?
Yes. And this same thing cut across all cloud. They may call it different name. You can do it in AWS. You can do it in Azure. You can do it in OCI. You can do it in Alibaba. You can do it in Google Cloud. They're all the same thing. The same principle. AWS, yes. GCP call it Subnet. They call it VPC. Just that they have VPC in a GCP. They don't have cider node attached to it. But in their VPC, they have 2 subnets. So the 2 subnets also operate in the same way. So the cider node you're supposed to attach to this VPC. You attach it to one subnet, you create another subnet, you attach it to another subnet. They call it primary and secondary subnet. You understand me? But it's the same thing, the same language. They also have route table. You also have firewall, which is security group. So they are the same thing.
Okay, so that means if we're supposed to build a resume, so we can put that on the resume as a skill, right?
What, as in, if you don't have it on your resume, nobody will even call you for interview.
Okay.
And if you say you have it in your resume and they ask you questions, you're not able to answer it or give them an illustration. You saw the way we just created a NAT gateway, because I know that is the problem people always have. We created a NAT gateway, we created the internet gateway. If you're able to explain what we just did to this now to an interviewer, they will take you.
Oh, okay. So we have just to practice over.
Practice. They will just take you. They will take you there because every other thing can be worked on. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we just create an instance, link the instance to your laptop with your Ubuntu or with your Mac OS, put resources inside, work with it, do anything we like, we show it. That's all. Every other thing you want to be doing, whether you want to install WordPress, whether you want to install AI, you want to install everything, you already know you have to set up your network, how to set up your server, you start working on it. That's all. Then next thing we'll go to automation. From automation, we'll go to observability, we'll go to Kubernetes engine. Every other Kubernetes engine sits on the network, and Kubernetes engine is sit on the server, managing server. The same thing, you just discover that everything just start moving so fast, and we are done. Yes, then we'll start going to our POC. Then we'll get it. This infrastructure is my main aim, but the challenge that would have happened is the things we did before now. And now we're able to get those things off our way. Now we can move fast. So thank you so much. We can continue to talk like this till tomorrow. So take care of yourself and have a good night. Please practice. Please practice. So you remember you already have 2 assignments. Practice. So take care. Bye. Enjoy your day. God bless you.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye, Mr. Patrick.
Bye. Yeah,
and Cloud team.
Your team, your team come together. Next week is going to be team by team. We're going to be deploying AWS resources, servers, team by team. I'm going to be entering your team. So you do all the things you need to do. I've already done my own work. So God bless you. Bye-bye.
Good night, sir.